Stay tuned to Schoolhouse Rock After Dark. Movie thinks it can bank some early negative sins with us by casting a badass like David Carradine. And you know what? Movie is right. Hey, I can't even see the cameraman in this horn. Oh wait, no, there he is. I totally can. High school band hates America. 25 years into the future, Americans have learned to stop worrying and love the Nazis. In 1975, people believed that 2000-era New York would be even more sketchy than normal. This guy won 2 merit badges for fisting.
All right.
Reporter nowhere near the racetrack is going to give us the live play-by-play of the race he obviously can't see.
This is Junior Bruce, your buddy and mine.
How can a guy be his own buddy? Also, in the future, the only TV station you need is simply named TV. Movie rips off the headlights are eyes gimmick from Cars. Also, Discount Speed Racer. Man, this dude gets around. He was definitely a disembodied spirit looking for his true killer a minute ago, but now he's actually at the race. Discount Unborn Justin Long. Director who inserted himself into the picture had a choice. Take the blue pen and believe whatever he wanted to believe, or take the red pen and stay in Wonderland. Unfortunately, he took both.
Mr. President is in his summer palace in Peking. He loves everybody.
What is it with futuristic sci-fi movies and world leaders so benevolent that they are obviously evil?
I hope your buzz bomb has a little more juice in its warhead this year.
Too many sins in this one line, we had to break this one out into parts.
Juice in its warhead.
I'm pretty sure that's sexy, but honestly, even my penis is confused what the hell she's talking about. Anyway, sexual innuendo aside, what was I thinking again?
Juice in its warhead.
Oh, right, a proper response to this would be, yes, it does have more juice this year, and you're going to wish your helmet had a face guard. Also, we tried to have more juice, but it failed the nocturnal emissions test.
Juice in its warhead.
Besides, the last time I used the phrase juice in its warhead, I was slapped with a restraining order.
Whoever named your car the Bull was only half right.
Hate to step on a good joke, but I prefer to look at it as half wrong.
How do you feel about going into the race with a navigator you've never met?
I'd say it's appropriate. Since in what kind of a wacky world would a serious driver like Frankenstein not want to pick his own navigator unless it was important to the plot? Frankenstein is still pushing imaginary people out of the way. Also, Doctor chose the location of Stanley Kubrick's nightmares to perform the surgery.
No more questions.
He said to the people not asking any more questions.
Stop blocking me. My fans want to see me.
Sweep her leg.
I've checked out the car and everything seems perfect.
Okay, whatever you say, brand new navigator I've never worked with before. What can I say? You have a trustworthy face. And tits.
I'm trained as a nurse.
Words every man wants a woman to say to him and be lying while saying it.
I don't need a nurse. I need a navigator.
Driving a car in the future has become so complicated that it requires navigators.
Machine Gun Joe.
I see the machine guns, but with this car, this dude should definitely be called Giant Ass Knife Joe.
Loved by thousands, hated by millions.
It's kind of like if Spider-Man 3 could drive a car. Discount Sylvester Stallone. Also, I see the Hunger Games ripped off the futuristic society's fashion is obsessed with pink and other bright colors bullshit from this movie.
What Frankenstein? I'll give you Frankenstein.
And that's how Rocky was typecast as Rambo forever. No one dies from these bullets, so I can only assume they're blanks, in which case, why fire at all?
Frankenstein.
8 minutes in, and we're still just introducing the racers. Wait, so it's the Cobra Kai sensei, Rocky Balboa, and Kane from Kung Fu in a deadly car race? Yep, that beats my fanfiction all to hell. Spit insult. Also, good to see that in the future, the concept of aerodynamics has been proven completely useless. Eagle-eyed viewers with a great attention to detail will notice this train is fake as shit. Look even closer in the background and you'll see the Jamaican bobsled team finally finishing the 1988 Olympics.
We take you to the Summer Palace and Mr. President.
None of the reporters knew where Mr. President was when they were asking Frankenstein about him.
How is Mr. President? Is he still in Moscow?
But apparently the TV broadcast did. Prop master and director had an obvious disagreement on the definition of enough dry ice.
In the long and difficult years since the world crash of '79.
Holy shit, The Hunger Games is a discount this movie.
Once more, I give you what you want.
Whoa, that is the least amount of ceremony to the start of an auto race in history.
They're coming out of the Lincoln Tunnel now.
Racers take the Lincoln Tunnel from New York to New Jersey, but end up in a place with mountains. Seriously, that is the most California-looking New Jersey I have ever seen. This GoPro commercial footage brought to you by 1975. See this? This movie is 28% this. Just slightly sped up race footage set to weird music. It's way far out, man.
The cars have split up. The drivers taking off on their favorite routes.
Apparently none of these drivers have the same favorite route.
Passive resistance means nothing to him. It's time for action.
Anytime this guy needs to make a point, he's got sticks of dynamite lying around just in case. Now I know this is bullshit because these road workers would have waited until there was a traffic jam to work today.
The big score, anyone over 75 years old has been upped to 100 points.
Futuristic dystopian society uses the same scoring system as present-day me. This guy isn't even moving, but she still can't ever hit him. How is she not disqualified immediately for ineptitude? How did she even get into this race in the first place? Oh, she finally hit him. I guess he accidentally moved.
Beautiful kill!
Jesus, does the Hunger Games know how much it ripped off The Running Man? And does The Running Man know how much it ripped off this movie?
And you can bet she'll be getting both ears for that one.
I have never been more certain of a character's death than this reporter's in my life. There is no way he survives. My only lament is that it won't come until the final scene.
They do it every year.
And yet none of the other drivers have seen this on previous race telecasts and tried to swoop in and steal Frankenstein's pile of easy points. Also, some of the nurses are just f***ing with Frankenstein to be setting up the old people in this way. This is the killing old people with cars equivalent of picking up a 710 split.
Meanwhile, innocent people are being slaughtered on our highways.
But why are they on the highway on Death Race Day in the first place? Don't people that stupid actually deserve to die? Also, the director must have said, have these people say their lines from inside some kind of factory. It'll make them look even more blue collar. Also, why did they move the TV between the last shot and this one? They're all in the same outfits. The movie has given us no reason to think much time has passed. But I guess every 10 minutes these blue collar rebels and their grandmother move the TV and change the seating arrangement just for variety.
Then in the name of humanity, let Operation Anti-Race begin.
That's racist. Scene does not contain a lap dance. Cleopatra has the amazing gift of looking through binoculars in a speeding car as if she was standing still.
I am Thomasina Paine.
Haha, American Revolution reference. Cool shot, but you seriously expect me to believe the resistance built their driver-killing blockade facing the wrong direction during a one-direction transcontinental race? Are they 5-year-olds? What can I say? The MPAA was a far cry in 1975 from the overzealous, prissy bitches we all know and love today. All these cars are being waxed at the exact same moment. All the damage repair and other maintenance work on cars was completed at exactly the same time so the communal waxing could commence. Haha, they went and got Nero's wreckage, dragged it all the way to the St. Louis checkpoint, and put it in its correct spot in the garage. Shit, I'm surprised no one's standing here waxing this thing right now. Press corps allowed into the naked racer massage room. I guess this is the public naked massage room. In a room this huge and this bright, this is a very useless light.
He hit a tree and that's it.
I'm confused as to whether the people at home can see the killing or not. If they can't see the race at all, then why would anyone tune in? If they can see the race, then how would they not know what happened to Nero? Jeez, how many f***ing sins do I have to give back for this? F***ing Corman, man. Damn genius put this scene here way the f*** back in 1975 just to stymie our sin-counting efforts.
I wanted you to know who I am, so it would have meaning.
Random stalker plays the pronoun game so that Frankenstein has to ask what it means. Private rooms as big as a f***ing house still had to take the rubdowns in a group setting, for some reason.
He wanted to know our route, so I told him to go down 54 through the Cimarron Valley.
54 is a dead end.
Why would an experienced death racer like Machine Gun Joe not know that this is a trick? Or not already know the details of such a route? Fun with your pause button. These dummies got exactly what was coming to them. If the race announcers suddenly know about every single kill, which they do, then there must be cameras on each car somehow. F*** it, it's the future, I'm fine with that. But then why can Frankenstein drive large stretches of the race without his fake disfigurement mask on, without having his lie revealed to the viewers?
Come on over to my side.
Despite her suspicions, Annie decides to walk to the other side in front of the car while it's running, and Frankenstein is behind the wheel. This guy was one of the original founding professors of the Prometheus School of Running Away from Things.
We'll be back on the road in no time.
Either this speeding race car isn't making any noise, which is sinful as shit, or else the characters in this car can't hear it, which is sinful as shit.
Nobody scores my navigator and gets away with it.
But he was fixing the car, right? I mean, how can you just drive off after her like nothing was ever wrong with the car? Okay, the Resistance is now literally taking their half-assed ambush plan straight out of the Wile E. Coyote playbook.
Here they come!
How did this asshole get up here? Also, how could he tell from up here that they were coming anyway? They went into a tunnel, and that was under another mountain, a geographic formation that tends to block the view of people trying to look around it. And the Wile E. Coyote plan actually works. I bet she holds up a sign that says gravity lessons as the dust settles, right? Calamity Jane was hot on the heels of Matilda the Hun, so why wasn't she fooled by the detour? Here's Stick Tire Kid, who amazingly survived this year's purge and is once again playing in the road during a known death day.
Come to the other side.
A minute ago, she was totally willing to walk in front of the car. Now she tries to go behind because we need this tense moment when Frankenstein asks her to walk around in front.
The valiant Hun's demise was, in fact, caused by enemies of the people.
Why bother to lie about Matilda's death earlier when you were just going to tell the truth later? Frankenphallus.
You know, I got just 2 words to say about that. Bull.
Well, you're half right. Leave it to David Carradine to interrupt a good choking. Rocky pulls his punch. Movie thinks that a naked babe is going to make me forget that Frankenstein is banging a navigator he can't trust. Well, it's right.
Has scored his own mechanics for 40 points and is off to catch Calamity Jane and Frankenstein.
Is there any point to the racing aspect of this race? I haven't once heard anything about who's arriving at the checkpoints first or who has the fastest time. They're all taking different routes and shit, so presumably speed is at least some part of the equation for who wins this event, right? Because it seems like only the kill points matter.
Wait till you get to New LA first with the highest score, too.
What? See? What the f does that even mean? Do you need to have the fastest time and the most kills to win? Confusing death race is confusing.
Machine Gun Joe is still way ahead on points, and he could win the race even by arriving second.
Honestly, if you want to win this race, you should veer off course and find as many elementary schools as possible. Then worry about finishing the race after you've racked up a bunch of points. This guy went to the half-assed school of camouflaging a mine on a dirt road. What the f is she doing here? Get back on the road and try and win the race. Dead Vehicle Graveyard finally tells Calamity Jane this is no place to be during a transcontinental death race. Annie gets distracted by nothing in particular while Frankenstein openly and obviously spikes the drink with 1970s roofies. Also, how many people do you plan on knocking out in a lifetime with this orgy of pills? There are more knockout pills in this case than you get M&Ms in one package.
He's about 50 miles out, Lieutenant.
Wait, is this the same factory where they've had their base of operations the whole time? Because there is no way Frankenstein is 50 miles away from this place. Remember back when the rebel leader guy dressed up as a woman and pretended to be a mom on a picnic and they blew up Cleopatra's boobs? Well, that was way back in Pennsylvania. Now they're in Albuquerque.
Frankenstein, stop right now. We want to talk to you.
You are already talking to him, asshole. Not that I have any f***ing clue how that shit's possible. Look out! He's gonna fly by you to death! What the f*** is this asshole doing? He just happens to be sitting here in case Frankenstein got ambushed by rebels during the middle of the race? The rebels' ability to kill drivers is inversely proportional to the important characters they might kill. The rebels' plan involves having a non-greatest racer in the world drive a car to catch up to the greatest racer in the world. Car crashes and explodes because movies. Airplane crashes and explodes because... oh, yeah, that would probably happen. Also, obvious model airplane is model.
Only the winner of the race is to shake hands with Mr. President. That handshake is all I've lived for as long as I can remember.
At the beginning of this movie, we were told that Frankenstein won this race twice. He's had 2 chances to kill Mr. President, but sure, this is all he's lived for.
Is that a grenade?
A hand grenade.
A grenade in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. Tire squealing sound effects go well with any racing scene, even straight-line driving.
Give me your hand!
This grenade represents Frankenstein's life work to kill Mr. President, but sure, he just allows her to take the grenade off his hand so she can kill Machine Gun Joe.
The only thing that worries me is how am I gonna shake hands with Mr. President?
Mr. President's the one who should be worried now.
Yeah, totally. Wait, what? Where's Annie right now? Oh. No one notices that Frankenstein's navigator is nowhere to be found during all this. She just got shot, but what the hell, let's have her help Frankenstein out of his car. There are exactly 0 repercussions for assassinating the president.
Frankenstein has appointed my great-grandmother, Thomasina Payne.
Wait, great-grandmother? I'm not saying it's impossible, but there's like a 30-40 year gap between these two.
Let my press secretary answer that question.
Stop annoying Mr. President with impertinent questions, Junior.
What? That guy was just asking questions as a reporter 30 seconds ago.
The race is the symbol of everything we hold dear.
And here comes the reporter's death scene. 1 hour and 18 minutes too late. We're abolishing the race because violence is bad, but we also need a good laugh here at the end of the movie. F it. Let's just run over one more guy and have everyone applaud and love it.
By the Australopithecines.
History lesson narrated over closing credits. Paul Bartel? You mean the guy who uses New York's finest taxi service in The Usual Suspects? That Paul Bartel? Who knew that he had done anything else? We'd like to thank Roger Corman for challenging us to sin one of his movies, and for that, we give Roger Corman a sin too.
You're calling me a turkey.
All right.
Bring out the gimp.
I think the gimp's sleeping.
Well, I guess you just have to go wake him up now, won't you?
Fear does not exist in this dojo, does it? No, Sensei! Hate does not exist in this dojo, does it? No, Sensei!
Welcome to the 74th Annual Hunger Games!
Hey, should I let him go?
On the brink of death, Frankenstein, who lost the leg in 98, and
Oh yeah, lightning's ready.
I'm American made, but like Chevrolet.
Hear me! I am your new president. All citizens will be required to change their underwear every half hour.
In the movies, we just see the important parts, but the truth is, a race across America would include lots of boring stretches filled with downtime, terrible scenery. Eventually, you're going to get tired of classical, psychedelic, or any other forms of music. What do you like to do on long, boring death races across the continent? I'm hoping Audible's still around in this dystopian future, so that I can go to audible.com/CinemaSins and grab some audiobooks. Then, when it's my turn to drive in the death race, I can listen to cool stories like The Hunger Games, Divergent, or even The Running Man. Nothing makes dystopian future death competition go by quicker than listening to stories about dystopian future death competitions. Trust me, I'm speaking from experience here. Whatever kind of books you like, you're sure to find something among Audible's over 150,000 titles that will make the cross-country drive go by a little faster. Your first book can be free just by going to audible.com/CinemaSins today. You won't regret it. Promise.
This is it. This is the greatest decision. I'm so happy with this decision.